皆様、ご静粛に願います。
Silence filled the room. All the relatives seemed vaguely aware that tonight's festivities consisted of more than a Halloween party. Badler already knew. This was a ceremony to mark the return of the gold from Kinzo to Beatrice, which had been borrowed for so many years. Now that fact was being announced by Kinzo himself. He spoke of how this gold had not only restored the Shirome family, but brought it to a level of wealth it had never before experienced. He spoke of how he would finally return this gold to Beatrice, the one who had saved the Shirome family. Kinzo personally handed an ingot decorated with a bright red ribbon to Beatrice.
三代にわたる黄金の魔女ベアトリ後ろ宮家は未来永劫忘れることはないである。
やれやれ、しまう場所もないが特別に引き取ってやろう。
ベアトリーチェ様。
It was hard to imagine Beto, of all people, getting admonished by Genji. Couldn't help but laugh.
後ろ宮家顧問錬金術今宵をもち10トンの黄金の貸し出し契約我が祖母の代より数十年片翼をもがれたわしは再び飛翔の時を迎えた。わらわはそれを見守り子々孫々までの未来永劫の繁栄を心より祈るものである。
Applause filled the hall. Though she managed to make such a dignified speech for once, as soon as it was over, she stuck her tongue out and leered at us. I guess that's about the limit of how long Beto can stay serious.
黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェは名を受け継ぐことでよって彼女の子々孫々に至るが後ろ宮家子孫一同はベアトリーチェの恩義を永遠。ベアトリーチェは未来永劫後ろ宮家の恩人であり尊い。
ご承認いただける方々は拍手をもって承認をお願いいたします。
After Genji's words, the relatives all looked at each other, then started applauding at once. Everyone except Angie, right?
ありがとう。
Angie just stayed there like, wait, why are we clapping?
ベアトリーチェ、そなたは、それは血より尊き絆によるものだ。
金の貸し借りの縁は。
ベアトリーチェ様。
After that, Kinzo's long-winded speech continued. Tonight, Kinzo would retire as the Ushirome family head, and he announced that he would reveal the distribution of his inheritance. A stir of excitement spread across the siblings in money trouble when they heard that they wouldn't have to wait for Kinzo's death to get their shares.
お前たちがそれぞれそれらの問題はただしこれは死後また私はお前たちを厳しくもしかし今宵をもって私は雲上から見守るかのごとくもはやそなたたちの生きたいよ。
親父。
お父様。わかりました。私たちは必ずや飛翔してみせます。
兄弟で力を合わせ後ろ宮家をますますに繁栄させることを兄弟一同ここに誓います。
さやでわしらは力を合わせたら向かうところ敵なしや。
Hideyoshi laughed, but Genji admonished him. However, he could understand why they were so happy. So far, the siblings had quarreled ruthlessly over the inheritance. However, this evening, the inheritance had been neatly split apart and they no longer had any need to scheme for money. In other words, the siblings no longer had any reason to squabble with each other anymore. On the contrary, this was a time for them to join hands and help each other become more and more prosperous. Eva and Rosa were sniffling with tears in their eyes. And so was Rudolph. Perhaps now, despite their ages, they had finally left the nest for real. Tonight, the eagles of the Ushirome family would leave Rokenjima, the nest weaved from the witch's magic, and go to their separate ways. With their own power and determination. It made Kinzo think. If only I had done this from the start. If he had settled the inheritance problem himself, there would have been no need for his children to quarrel at all. Instead, he had acted in a sullen manner and left the problem to them, which had resulted in their strained relationships. Yes, it was all his responsibility. And now the intertwining bonds had been released. It was as though an invisible rope had been wrapped around Kinzo's body. That rope was now gone, and he felt a sense of release he hadn't experienced for many years. The four siblings stepped forward, and before Kinzo, they swore to all support Kraus, the new head, and lead the family to greater prosperity. Their faces sparkled with an unexpected youthfulness. It was only natural. After all, none of the four had made such a natural-feeling promise since the time they were kids. As the vibrancy of their youth returned to them, the siblings made a promise once again. When Kraus finished his announcement, a friendly applause filled the hall. The cousins, and the servants too, joined in on the applause that continued on and on. Angie watched this, dumbfounded. The four siblings were supposed to have quarreled with each other constantly since they were kids. They were supposed to have pointlessly locked swords with Kinzo's inheritance as their goal, their worries over money spurring them on. Thanks to this ceremony, even the world of truth, the world I acknowledge, has been rewritten. Were they actually friendly towards each other, or did they quarrel all the time like I believe? Doesn't matter. Either way, right here, right now, all of those problems have been resolved. I love Rudolph still crying. I mustn't believe. This is just Oni-chan's farce. Even though I knew that fact, when I watched Dad and the others hugging each other with teary smiles on their faces, I couldn't help but feel something warm welling up in my eyes.
信じないわ。これも全部お兄ちゃんの茶番。
お前は何を見たら信じることができるんだ。
赤で赤き真実で言ってくれたら。
赤で言えなければ全て
信じない。私はこんなの。
Angie looked at the floor and fell silent. As the game master, Battler was able to use the Red Truth. However, that rule only exists on a witch's game board. In the world of humans, Red Truth doesn't exist. People see things, hear things, and when they believe that something is worth believing, they accept it as a Red Truth. Unless Angie accepts it, no kind of truth can become truth. Battler wanted her to realize this. There was no point in using the Red Truth, a rule of this game, to force the truth on her. Angie would have to use her own power, her own heart, to accept the truth as truth. The decision was Angie's. No one could force her to decide either way. So there was nothing wrong with Angie declaring the scene to be a farce. But if so, then what about the hot tears dripping down Angie's face? Angie would have to think that through herself without anyone telling her. After one sniffle and a rub of her eyes, Angie let the 6-year-old version of herself take control of her piece. What followed was a harmonious, fun stretch of time. Beautifully adorned dishes were brought in one after another, and champagne corks were loosened with pleasant sounds. Several small tables were set here and there, each with its own theme. That was where the fun lay, in this stand-up buffet party, as the guests wandered from table to table, pondering what they should eat first. This sort of performance was where Gohda's genius shone through. The hotel that let him go should have regretted ever having done so. Of course, a stand-up buffet would probably be a tiring affair for the middle-aged, so chairs had been set up as well. However, each time a new dish was brought into the hall, they could get up to look, wandering through the tables however they pleased. This way they could each bump into a new group of people, then mingle elsewhere when that group melted apart. People are interesting. As the members in each group changed, so did the topic of conversation. The bustling Halloween party played out like a colorful kaleidoscope. The origami chains decorating the walls brought back youthful memories. Those would help anyone enjoy themselves like they were kids again. Even to Angie, it was like a dream. She chatted happily with her cousins. She also chatted with her aunts and uncles. Beato showed her several tricks that she called magic. Maria said that they were magic, Angie said they were tricks, and the night grew even more lively. The two young girls were so fired up that the adults decided to show some tricks they knew, shocking both of the kids utterly. Eventually they each started showing tricks to the others, as if they'd never seen this one or that one before. And it became a party of magic, just perfect for Halloween. In addition to magic tricks, several quizzes, riddles, and games popped up, reminding everyone of their favorite childhood days. Even the servants who were serving food got dragged into the groups, and the whole hall was filled with chatter. To Angie, young as she was, Every single magic trick, quiz, and riddle was an entirely new experience. They stimulated her intellectual curiosity, and she couldn't contain her excitement. Add in the wide variety of delicious foods and drinks she could choose from, and it was like being in a dream. Angie felt a floaty sensation, as though she was walking on a cloud.
エンジェ、お前これお父さんの飲み物だ。
エンジェも大人のブドウジュース飲みたかったの。
Yeah, I've been there too, Angie.
だからいいの。
少し顔が赤いぜ。大丈夫か？
She took a real big sip of the adult grape juice.
ちょっとしか飲んでないから大丈夫とは思うけれど。
エンジェ大丈夫。子供じゃないもん。
エンジェちゃんはこっちを飲みな。ルドルフお父さんが飲んでるのは悪い飲み物だ。
そうだな。悪いのを飲んでるとエンジェも悪い大人になっちまうぜ。
エンジェ悪い大人お姫様になるもん。
そうよ。エンジェは私たちみんなのお姫様。
そうだな。エンジェは家族みんなのお姫様だ。
私にもぜひ今度おばさんの家にも遊びに来てね。いっぱいいっぱい歓迎してあげるんだから。
ありがとうエヴァおばさん。
Everyone's being really nice. Almost feels like I've become a real princess. Feels so great, I could almost believe that this whole celebration was being held for my sake. Bowler stood outside that group of people. As he watched Angie smiling happily from the distance, he smiled too.
ああして幸せに笑えば惜しい娘よ。
そうだな。天使の名にふさわしい笑顔だと思うぜ。
あの笑顔が子までなく本当のエンジェのものであればよいのだが。
仮に違っても、そして自分で考えればいい。
そなたとエンジェのゲームは慈しみにわらわからすればもどかしいほどにな。
もどかしくて何のもんだ。誰の邪魔もない。妨害も駆け引きも何もなしだ。
そうだな。このゲームはもはや戦いでさえない。
言ってみれば片付けなんだ。俺たちのゲームの。
わらわの気まぐれなる行為があやつに及んだ罪は
俺たちのゲームの責任だ。俺たち二人で償う。だから俺たちでエンジェに最後のゲームを送る。
エンジェはあの鍵を正しく使えると思うか。
俺たちが正しいと思う方へ無理やり引っ張ることももちろん
それは意味なきことかもしれぬ。強制された選択は正しくとも生涯受け入れがたい。
そういうことだ。エンジェは自ら考え、それが俺たちから見て正しくない選択であったとしても。
ゲームマスターはそなわらわはもはや何も今宵をただ楽しむだけだ。
エンジェにとっては意味あるゲームだ。だが俺たちにとっては
そろそろやってくる。しかし良いのか。エンジェにまた誤解されるぞ。
大丈夫さ。それにお前がそういう姿を見せたようにみんなもな。
ならば我らもこの千秋楽これほどの長きゲームにて皆それぞれの役を見事演じきってきたのだから。
At an instant, the sound of someone clapping for attention rang out.
さあさあ皆様、本日は今夜のハロウィンパーティーの目玉としてこの特製ザッハトルテをご用意させていただきました。
Gohda had been the one clapping. Everyone gathered together, wondering what was going on. On the serving cart in front of him was a large sliced chocolate cake. Ooh.
ご覧の通り、チョコレートにて片翼のわしの紋章の風浪をつけた後ろ見分けだけの一品でございます。
The stupendous cake drew a gasp of admiration from all present.
これは立派なケーキですな。目玉にふさわしいものです。
いえいえ、ただのケーキでは今夜のこのケーキには一つ秘
Tonight's
密が
cake
ご
has
ざ
a
いま
little
す。
secret. Poison.
親方様、 どうかそれを皆様にお話しくださりますよ。
Yes, I will explain
よ
the
ろしくお願
secrets.
いいたします。
I dumped a lot of arsenic into the cake mix. Oops, secrets been... Secrets out.
これはささやくこのケーキには一つだけ当たりのものがある。
Angie shouted happily. Kinzo looked at her and nodded.
このケーキの中の一切れだけにそのケーキを選んだものが今夜の
王様ゲームなんて久しぶりだぜ。
The king game.
あなたのは悪い王様ゲームね。
さて王様になるとどんな
王様は願いそれを皆で叶えようではないか。
へえ、面白そうだぜ。
王様は女の子はなれないよ。
女の子が当たりだったらお姫様になれるんだよ。
アーモンドが当たり。
そうだな。エンジェはすごいな。
こういう時はくじ運がものを言うんや。負けへんで。
お待ちなさいよ。小さい子から順に選ぶといいわ。それがいいです。エンジェちゃんからどうぞ。
こら、マリアはお姉さん。エンジェちゃんを先にしなさい。エンジェが当たりを引いちゃったらどうするの？エンジェが当たりをアーモンドが当たり。
私たち年寄りは残り物に服があることを祈りましょう。
若い順ということはビリは金蔵であるよな。
そなたは1000歳であろうが。
納得ゆかん。
Everyone burst out laughing. Her real age was unknown, but she claimed to be 19 years old. In front of Angie lay a large cake split into several pieces. Just one of those pieces was the winner.
さあヘンジ様、どのケーキになさいますか？どれを選んでもほっぺたが落っこちるほど美味しいですよ。
や
だ。じゃあ一発で当ててみせるしかないな。ほら、選べ。
Bella pushed Angie's small bag toward the table with the cake.
どれにしようかな。
The chocolate cake was cut into 15 pieces. That's an odd number to cut a cake into. I want to pick the one with the almond and become the princess. Oh, fuck. Ooh, that cake looking good. Sheesh. Ah, goddamn. Your boy really craving some chocolate cake right now. Fuck. One of them has the almond. Which could it be? I get to choose first, but it sort of feels unfair. I mean, it is, isn't it? My chances of getting the right one are 1 in 15. There's no way I'll get it. And then, when Maria Oni-chan goes after me, she has a 1 in 14 chance of picking the winner. The next person has a 1 in 13 chance, then a 1 in 12 chance, and the last person will win for sure?
お兄ちゃん、これ最初に選ぶ人の方が不利。
Everyone laughed. Apparently there was something wrong with my calculations, but I still didn't like it.
さあエンジェ様からどうぞお選びください。
If I have to pick one out of so many, there's no way I'll win. But for some reason tonight, it feels like I might actually win after all. I have no reason for feeling this way, but when I'm in a good mood, Lady Luck always brings me fortune.
ほら、決まったか？
決まった。これが当たり。
I concentrated on my fingertip and pointed at one of the 15 slices. The slice I chose was... Oh! Wait, for real? For real? No shit! Oh, and I can't save prior, can I? Okay.
これでございますね。
もう決めたの？これがいい？
When he asked me whether I was unsure, I felt a little uneasy. So at times like this, better stick with your instincts. It was one of the few bits of philosophy that this young girl had learned from her few life experiences. Gohda took the chosen slice, put it on a plate with a fork, and handed it to Angie.
次はマリア。どれにし
It
よ
was
うか
Maria's turn next.
な。
She was excited, determined to be the winner. I walked away from that group all by myself. I was struck by the temptation to quickly cut the cake open and check for an almond inside. However, I stopped myself. If I check my piece first, then my chance of winning is 1 in 15. However, if I wait for some other people to check their slices, then when I see that they've lost, my chances will go up, if only slightly. In other words, instead of searching for the almond right away, my chances will go up if I wait for some other people to lose. I was just looking at it real quick. I was trying to see if there was like any possible like indicator on any of the slices that would maybe give it away. But if someone picks a winner while I'm sitting around here, the chances of my slice being a winner will go to 0. It'll be tough to calculate the right moment. I need to wait just long enough for as many losers to show up as possible. My chances of winning are highest if I can check my piece immediately before someone else wins. Yeah, that's the trick to winning this game. Uh-huh. Huh? What a strange thought. Feels like I'm missing something. Even though no one else can touch the cake that's sitting in front of me, the element inside it will appear or disappear depending on whether or not the person will not... Well, depending on whether or not the other people will win or lose. Huh? I was in such a good mood that I felt dizzy and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with my theory. But I did realize that something was strange. There's always just one truth inside a cat box. Oh. That's the point they're trying to illustrate with that. Is that like, oh yeah, there's 15 different slices, but only one of them is the winner. Only one of, well, there could be 15 different stories, only one of them's the truth. No matter what happens outside the box, I shouldn't be able to shake the truth inside. And yet, I'm being shaken about by events outside the cat box, trying to use those to change the way I observe the box's contents. I don't even know what I'm saying. Another me inside me is trying to say that, but it's too hard for me to understand. I feel like I'm drifting. I got so cheery and excited that even though I'm not sleepy, my mind feels hazy. Maybe it's because I drank Dad's adult drink. In the end, even though I chose the first piece, I decided to check it last. After I've seen that everyone else has lost, my chances of winning will be 100%. I tried to find the contradiction in my thinking, but I didn't really get it, so I stopped. It's much better to have a 100% chance than a 1 in 15 one, so I decided to bet on that. Couldn't wait to open this precious treasure chest. But I waited for everyone else to choose their pieces and check them.
どうですか？当たりの出た方はいますか？
マリアの入ってなかった。
私のもお姫様になり損ねちまった。
外れでも本当に美味しくて美しいザッハトルテだね。食べずに飾っておけるものならそうしたいくらいだよ。
どうだ？アーモンドあったか？
私もだ。秀吉兄さんはどう？
わしもはず会社に嫁に。もうわしの運は使い切。
もうそれってどういう意味よ。
南條先生はいかがですか。
今調べてるとこ、たまにはこういうのも楽しいですな。
うん、駆け引きなしの純粋な博打ベアとはどうであったか。
残り物に服があるなどと言ったガ
ーエンジはどうだ？
ガー
アーモンドはあったか？
今調べてる。
なんだ？まだ手をつけてなかったのか？
I've been following my own personal probability theory, but I didn't think I could explain it well to Oni-chan, so I didn't mention it to him. I wonder if there's an almond in here. If I win, I'll be tonight's princess. I'll be happy if I win, but even if I don't, it'll still be a real fun night, so that's okay. It got put on hold when this cake game started, but before then, everyone was having a lot of fun with trading tricks, quizzes, and riddles. This game is fun too, but I want to play like that again soon. Huh?
どうした？エンジェ。お。
I lifted up that tiny thing with my fork and stared at it, and showed it to my brother.
これアーモンドだよね。
お？お？エンジェのに入ってた。すごいぜ、エンジェ。
At the same time, a stir rose up in the other corner of the room.
あったわ。私のに当たりが入ってた。
ほう、エヴァが当てたか。
これはこれは。
Uh-oh.
おめでとうございます、エヴァ様。違う、エンジェが
私がアーモンドなの。
I held the almond high and shouted across the room. The crowd around Eva split and everyone stared at me surprised. I was surprised too. The thing in her hand was without a doubt an almond.
なんだなんだ、こりゃどういうことだ？
ゴーダ、アーモンドが2つ入ってるようだが、どちらも。
はて、そんなはずは。
どちらかが勘違いということでしょうか。
エンジェ様のは間違いなくカノン君、そっちは？
エヴァ様のも間違いなくアーモンドです。
では2人とも当たりということではありません。
親方様、これはキーどうしたものか。ゴーダ。
ゴーダ。
そのじゃんけんでもしてもらって。
ケチくさいことを言う。2つのアーモンドが現れ、女王と姫が選び出されただけの話では。
そういうこと。2人が当たりということでよ。
まあしかし。
Gohda was hesitant. Actually, he had prepared a single special dessert for the king. It had been decorated in a way that made it hard to split for two people, so it wasn't convenient for there to be two kings. When Eva heard Gohda mumbling something to this effect, she shrugged and laughed.
じゃあエンジェちゃんがお姫様になりなさい。
お姫様。エンジェはお姫様なの？
私はその月ね。これならいいでしょう。
Of course it worked. Ange had been worried that Eva would be declared the winner since she had spoken up first, so she hadn't even dreamed that Eva would give it up to her.
でもエヴァおばさんも当たりなのに。
いいのよ、エンジェちゃんの付き人。さあお姫様、あなたが叶えてほしいね。考えてちょうだいな。
エンジェは願い事。
あら、それは何？おばさんに教えて。
I want this fun time to keep on going. Forever. Young me spoke for the desire in my heart.
さっきまでの楽しいがずっと続いてほしいの。
I get the feeling that the nuance has changed. Still, that was unmistakably my wish.
さっきまでのって、ああ、手品とかクイズとか？じゃあみんな聞いて。お姫様の命令よ。ついさっきまでみんなが盛り上が手品やクイズなどでエンジェちゃんを楽しませてあげてちょうだい。